What's up, everybody? Welcome to another cast interview, and today we've got the one and only Moe Bertran. What's up, Moe?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I finally figured out how to work this little thingy, so.
Little thing he means is his iPad, which is, like that big. Talk about working today's technology. I see these kids today with, how they zip through, Instagram stories, and they do all the little text and flashes. I'm getting better at it, but I feel like I'm behind the curve on this. I can't keep up with them.
Oh, I'm totally behind the curve. It's like I only had started an Instagram account because a friend wanted a certain amount of followers. So I'm like, okay, great. So I did it, and then all of a sudden people are following my Instagram, and then I was promoting something else, so someone posted it on their gram thing, and then all of a sudden I have all these people, and I was like, who are these people?
Right.
And I went to the gym, and the teacher of the class was like, hey, oh my God, you did this video with Ginger Minge? And I was like, yeah, how do you know? He's like, Instagram. And I was like, but I didn't talk about it. He said, no, but Ginger did. And then okay, all right.
Yeah. I think it's like the best of all the social media things, because you could just do real quick stuff and then put it out there. There's a lot of people that I've met through friends of friends of friends who do these one-offs, and they have this whole character-driven thing, or like Matt Wilkes, he has Emoji Roommate, which is fucking brilliant. And then there's oh shit, his name just left my head. He has his alter ego is Julissa, which said, let me tell you, mama, you don't go down on no guy if he don't wash it. You don't.
Well, all right.
He was in Pose. He played Billy Porter's dying boyfriend. That guy.
Oh, okay.
You know his name? I feel terrible.
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's dreamy, and he's a good actor too. He's been in a few things, but yeah, he's got a great Instagram, and I think that the smart people figured out how to capitalize on those features. I'm just coming around to it.
Well, I mean, it's like free advertising. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I've noticed that, and people will Insta, right? That's the word. People will Insta anything.
Insta anything.
And
Insta coffee.
But then people become successful doing that.
Yeah.
It's a whole new form. It's a whole new art form, is what it is.
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, but you won't find me doing that.
You could
until I need a publicist and they can do it. I'll be just like the president, and I'll let someone else do it.
No. I think he does it himself. Well, crazy shit. It's coming out of his.
Yeah, of course, that's him. Anyway. All right.
So, what have you? What did you think of the interview with Left of Straight last week?
Oh, that was so much fun.
That was
so much fun, because that the host, what's his name?
Scott Fullerton.
Yeah, so energetic, so knowledgeable. I mean, he was talking about some stuff that I did that I was like, well, how did you know about that? He totally did his research. It's crazy.
Yeah, he did. He knew everything about us before they even contacted him. I think when I told him who was going to be available, he did more research on stuff. And I know he's interviewed Michael Vaccaro before, but he knew a lot of stuff about me that I forgot.
Well, it happens. That's the thing. And then Michael, I said it on that when we did that interview. We've been around the same circles. We've never met.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But whatever. Well, we will eventually. We have to.
I know, right? I'm trying to figure out. You had mentioned wanting to explore more of Babcia and who she is as a character. I think what I'm going to have to do is a little bit of searching and then add some more, because there's some great moments for her in season 2, but there's not a lot of dialogue. But there's some. But I think I want to expand on it, because you're brilliant as her.
Thank you. I really love her. And you know what's so funny is I've been torn about what her true persona or essence is, or what's her deal.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I had a whole backstory, that stays with me. It'll probably go to you because you're writing her. So I'll let you know. But I've changed it up a little because I ran into someone at an airport who's finally given me the essence and the way that, you know, she is. And,
Okay.
yeah, and it's actually someone who's well known, but I'm not gonna, you know, talk about it yet until I start developing her, because I don't want to, you know, say, oh, it's based on, we'll just throw out a name, Amanda Lepore, and then I'm up there, and it's not, you know, and I'm like, it's not Amanda, but
Speaking of which,
but it is a person from back in the day who's still around and still working, and
oh, good.
yeah.
Well, I'm curious now. Don't tell me. I want to be surprised and see if I can point it out as you're doing it.
The thing is that, you know, Babcia's, the energy for her is very different than the person that I think is the good essence for her. But the fact that this person, the way they are every day normally, and the fact that Babcia, she like talks to spirits and is in that world, makes a whole lot of sense to me. Because I was like, how do I make this person real and not just a crazy caricature? And then when I ran into this person, I was like, are you kidding me? So I was like, that's it.
I got to tell you, when I had no idea where you, because I know we spoke briefly about who she was, because you know, she's based on my grandmother's old landlady. She was a very old Polish lady who survived World War II, and she survived Auschwitz. And I was sitting on the stoop one day because, you know, there was no one to play with, so I was just sitting there by myself, and she was sitting on the stoop, you know, what she did every day. And we just started talking, and she just started telling me about, you know, back then, and I just kept asking more questions, and I found it fascinating. I just loved her. She was like, you know, I think Babcia in Polish is grandma or something like that. So everybody in the neighborhood called her Babcia.
Okay.
And, when I thought about what I was going to name this character, her name came to mind, but I thought, oh, this would be a great way to remember her. So when I told you a little bit about this lady, the landlady, I know that you had that in mind, but I had no idea what direction you were going to go in, and it was just fucking brilliant. As you can tell by the many takes that we had to do, I couldn't keep it straight. You were just, and I think that's one of the things I loved about working with you in class was I think I might be a little bit jealous of this, but you get this instant freedom of thought and imagination. I have to sit with and think about first before I can be spontaneous. I don't know if that makes no sense, but
no, it does make sense. It totally makes sense. Everyone's different in that way. Everyone is different. I just think that for me, it just comes because I've been doing it for so long, you know, and now there's an ability to go, oh, this is it. Or like I said, running into that person the other day was like, oh my God, that's it. You know, for me, a lot of the process is hearing the voice.
Yeah.
And then clothes or, you know, something simple like that, clothing, or one little thing can trigger it and go, ooh, it. You know, and like, you know, Babcia's theatricality, we'll call it, is when I ran into this person, I'm like, oh my God. That's why the backstory for me has changed a little. And, you know, I was confused about, you know, what's Babcia's deal? Is she a drag queen? Is she trans? Is she what's the deal? I didn't want to be, you know, offensive, you know, to our trans brothers and sisters, you know, but at the same time, again, this person, I was like, oh, and there's someone in England too, who's pretty famous. Her name is Sasha, I can't remember her last name, DeSuning or something. Anyway, she saw me do my solo show in London. She came to review it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she went crazy. And then we hung out the whole month that I was there, and I asked her one night, drunken at Black's, you know, there's some club called Black's there. I said, what is your deal? Are you, you know, are you trans? Are you drag? What's your deal? She's like, well, See, I've gone back and forth. So I guess she's what the kids now call what's the new word? What's the new word?
Gender fluid.
Gender fluid.
Or gender nonconforming.
Okay, that one works too. And that's what I imagine, now Babcia is. That's one little thing. I guess I've just give away, and I will give away because it means a lot to me not to offend.
Yeah.
Our trans, community.
Yeah.
So, this Sasha, she's, she went through, she got breast implants and then she didn't. And then she took them out and then she was going to get everything done. And then she changed her mind. She's like, no, I still want to be a boy. And then she's like, no, I don't want to be a boy. She's very in touch with her feminine side, which quite coincidentally, when I totally am too, and it's always, all my life, been in touch with the girl side because I understand the power that women have. Women have a crazy power, which then fed into Babcia for me.
Yeah.
How this person ended up where she is, anyway, yeah. I in my head, she owns that building that you live in, and when someone sees her, they would go, how does that person own that building? But her backstory, that's what she owns the building.
Yeah.
So, anyway, sorry, I'm getting a text now. My taxes are done.
Yay! Thanks to Hogwarts.
Oh, I'm getting an owl.
You're getting an owl. Your owl's coming.
So
With your return. That bitch is late. It's a Weasley owl.
Anyways.
That was so funny. I just have to say, well, first of all, besides loving you for so many years, the energy you brought to Babcia was just perfect. And I watched the episode a lot. Because I enjoyed it and we did such a good time, but you're just so brilliant to watch and I just love watching you.
Oh, thank you. It was so much fun and I'm so, I'm so proud of you. It's like, it's crazy, Mike, what you're accomplishing. And,
thank you.
You're welcome because it's like, I don't know. I think part of my deal, Moe, not Babcia, is, to get all, I call them my baby gays. And you're not a kid anymore, but you're younger than me and I consider you that too.
Yeah.
And when you came to class and everything, you were like so open and wanting to do. And then you were like, oh, I see you and me and my husband doing our stuff, Mayhem and all this thing. And you were so like, wow. And you're doing it. You're totally doing it. And it's like, oh my God, it works, to be, I'm not going to say role model, but like, like push you out of the nest, push you out of the theatrical nest and do it. Go do it. You can do this,
thank you. I appreciate that so much. I think you definitely had,
sorry, let me turn her off.
I'm looking for owls now. I have to say that when I came back from LA and we reconnected and you said, and I told you I was looking for a place to train, and you told me about Mirror Rep and Sabra, I thought it was, that would be great. But I think what really made me excited to take the leap was when you said, do this scene with me from Normal Heart. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, we're going to do this. And that whole week of prep and then putting it up twice in class, the first time our way around and then after her direction and then through the process. I mean, I have longed for that ever since, HB Studio when, we were taking scene study class, and I haven't had that, this is the work you need to exercise, and I missed it so much. And then getting involved and everything else just like went away. I didn't care about anything else other than when's the next class, when's the next exercise. So, but I owe you a lot for that because I would have been stagnant trying to figure it out, but it was just a matter of doing it. And a lot of people say, like, for instance, the Instagram age, we'll call it, there are a lot of people taking the initiative and creating content and doing, and I think Vine also had a lot to do with a lot of the people who just exploded onto the scene, whether they got, you know, deals with major networks or what have you, or whatever they're doing. Vine, and then now Instagram, which took over, had launched careers of all kinds. So it allowed us an opportunity, and I guess a permission, because, you know, we're told don't never ask for permission, but just do, you know, you'll never get.
Yeah.
So it gave a lot of people the permission to do it. And I think that's where I got the inspiration, you know, the article that I ran across, people doing making their own opportunities, and you know, I'm like, well, why not, you know?
Well, I also think what's smart about you is you've taken the other aspect of your performing life, we'll call it your other performing life, and you've taken that and the knowledge that you've learned about, you know, shooting, about lights, about about a following. You know, when I told people about this, and it's funny because, you know, my day job, I'm a flight attendant. When I when they say, well, what else do you do? I'm like, I'm an actor. What are you doing? And I tell them about basketball. What's that about? And I say, well, and try to explain it to them. And then, you know, I mention your name. And then, you know, every so often you'll get one guy go, wait a minute. They're like, is that who, you know, is the guy from porn? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what is this? And I'm like, you have to watch it to see. You know, like, you know, so the fact that you are not just some go-go boy, you're like, you're taking this and making a business out of it, or you're taking that notoriety and making it, you know, that's what I did. When Cardi B was a stripper, you know, and look at her now. And she's not the only one.
She's not the only one.
You know, you have a lot of Playboy bunnies who are now big people. You know, that's another thing. Well, I think I got off track here, but anyway, you know, this project is really, really, I don't know, I'm having a good time. And, you know, I wasn't kidding when I was like, I want more episodes, but, you know, whatever, things will flow and they'll come, and, you know, we'll see what the public wants too.
Yeah, I have tried very hard, because when I didn't want to do adult entertainment anymore, was the time when I moved to LA, because I was just over it. And I think I was like one of those guys who were, instead of them being hired to do a lot of work with a lot of different studios, I was always trying to, you know, scratch something out, picking up the phone, saying, you know, are you shooting? I'm free. I got tired of that. So while I was in LA, I sort of put things in perspective and came home and hit the ground running, as you know.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know, and I talked about this before, like this story, my life of, you know, leaving real estate, getting into this and that and the other, and then here I am. It's a good story, and it could be funny, it could be great, and people might like it, people may not, but so far people are liking, you know, the beginning part. You know, we set the foundation. Now it's time for all the crazy shit that I've experienced to tell once removed. It's just been a fun journey.
All right, good.
And it's true, a lot of people who come from adult entertainment, whether they're strippers, doing porn, or pole dancers, go-go people, what you name it, a lot of them, you know, swimming in college debt because they got a degree that they can't get a job in, and, you know, stuff. You'd be surprised how many people I have met go-go dancing who have college degrees, who have, you know, launched their own, you know, purse business, or are artists. So there's this one guy that goes by Mikey Benjamin in LA. He's adorable. He's a very sweet guy. He's an incredible artist. Unbelievable. And I'm like, well, now I see. I think maybe he was trying to figure out where to go with work, but he's capitalizing on his sexy and launching his artwork, and people are buying his artwork, and now he's selling it online. It's surprised who you will meet in different walks of life who they're going the roundabout way to their passion. And that's what I did, because, you know, when I left real estate, I wanted to get back into performing arts. But I didn't know what would set me apart. So I figured, you know, I didn't think anybody was going to see the first few, but you know, it just blew up from there, and I'm like, I got something here. So
yeah,
everybody finds their way.
I know, and everyone's fun in it. I mean, you know, I don't know what else.
So tell me, or tell our fans about House of Mayhem. How's that coming along, or is it?
Well, House of Mayhem right now is on.
Tell them what it is.
House of Mayhem started as a play called Auntie Mayhem, which is about a gay couple, a former drag performer and her husband, who taken all these kids from the street, you know, runaway gay and lesbian kids. They meet their first kid because he mugs felony. Auntie Mayhem is Felony Mayhem, former drag performer who's now a photographer.
I love that name, though.
Isn't it perfect? I mean, that's the real, you know, that's for me. If I was a drag performer, you know, for every day, that would be my name. I mean, the name came from a friend of ours in LA who, he was twisted, but you know, back in the 90s, back in the drug days, he was always a mess. And he was at the Rage. For those of you who LA fans out there, or people who know LA,
the Rage.
Oh my God, he was always at the Rage, tweaked and wasted. So one night he gets into a fight with somebody, an actual physical fight, and the guy like pulls out a knife and cuts him, but he rips his shirt. So now this was like a little designer shirt that he was so excited about, and that's what caused him to really, you know, attack this person. So, okay, long story short, Mark gets arrested, and as they're pulling him out, he's like, why are you taking me away? He's cut me, he ripped my shirt. And they're like, we're charging with felony mayhem. And he's like, what the fuck, felony mayhem? What? Oh my God, that's a great brand name.
While he's getting cuffed.
While he's getting dragged away, and he's like,
felony mayhem.
And he totally like put it in his head, and then he told me, and I was like, can I have it? Yes, of course. And so, you know,
awesome.
Really, you know, years passed and Mark has passed since, but David my husband David wrote this play, Auntie Mayhem. And yeah, so it goes from there. You know, there's like 3 kids involved who we take in, and it's like an alternative family sitcom, basically.
Yeah.
So being a play and getting nominated for GLAAD Award and published and all.
Oh, that's stuff. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we went to, we got hooked up with some film producer who was going to make it into a film, and that all went crazy, as you know how that happens. You know, then they want to change everything. They want to change the story. It's not pink enough. It's not this. It's not that. Let's make it fluffy. Well, it's not a fluffy story. These are actual stories, because my husband David is also a lawyer, and he ran a project for gay and lesbian kids who were thrown out, who were in foster care. He would hold clinics at the actual pier. He would hold legal clinics at Hedrick Martin.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
He was very involved with these kids. So some of these stories are actually them. So that got scrapped. And then we did another theater production of it. And then another Hollywood person came along and said, we can make this into a movie. And we're like, yeah, we should. And then that went crazy, because now they were going from this tiny little story to this $5 million budget movie with, you know, let's do it in 3D. We're like, fuck.
3D.
3D. Well, anyway, so that fell apart. And then we went back to wanting to do it as a TV show. And one of the kids who was in the original production is now a pretty successful director out in Hollywood. Again, that town is making me crazy, but whatever. And he said, let's work on it. So we started to try to develop it as a TV show, and we were part of Project Greenlight and came in 3rd place, and that opened a lot of doors. But then again, everyone wants to change everything. They want to make this more TV, or they want to make this more family friendly, or they wanted this, or they want that. It's nuts. So that reflects on a little bit of a, let's take a break from this from now on. And, you know, the good thing is I can never age out of the park, so. We've got so many kids, though, because after like a year, they're too old. And
yeah.
It's like, oh my God. But anyway.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So that's that. And I know you were part of one of the readings, and
Yeah.
and it's like, you know, perfect. You'll always be a part of anything that we do. So
Oh,
it's like perfect. Anyway,
it's about connections, folks. You know who you know, who you know.
It totally is about connections, you know, and making an impression. That's
Yeah, that too. Making the right impression.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day. I'm surprised you're not flying today, but I'm glad you're not, so we can have a chat.
Well, now that I know how this thing works, I could have been somewhere else.
other than playing videos or watching YouTube or porn.
Exactly, or sitting by a pool or something, doing, you know, just like, you know, I could have done this in a hotel.
Exactly.
That would have brought some attention.
Right? So, folks, thanks again for tuning in. Mo, what have you got going on in the near future aside from shooting with us this summer?
Well, I'm working on a new solo play. Those of you who might know, I did a play for years called Love Scenes, all about gay relationship, all over the world, all over. Anyway, we're working on a new show, and it's about Paul Jabara, the songwriter, and someone saw me in LA doing Love Scenes, and it was Paul's producing partner and writing partner and all that kind of stuff. And he said, "What do you want to do next?" And I didn't know who he was. I said, "I'd like to do a story about Paul Jabara." And he's like, "Oh my God." So that's what we're trying to, you know, well, you know how it is.
Yeah.
But it'll get it. We're getting it
Working it out.
Yeah, look out for Heaven is a Disco. That's what it's called.
Heaven is I like that. You know what just came to mind when you said that? What? The end scene in Longtime Companion, when they're all at the beach of Fire Island at the end, when it says, you know, what would it be like if they found a cure and then everybody who's died came running down the boardwalk onto the beach? That's what just came to mind when you said Heaven is a Disco.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
The thing is, I mean, the name came up because Paul's gone. Paul died of AIDS. His best friend, who at the end they weren't best friends anymore, Donna Summer, who, you know, sang his biggest hit. And, well, aside from, he also wrote Straining Men. So, you know, that could be which one? Last Dance, Straining Men, which one's bigger? But anyway, and Paul Moroder, the guy who produced all of their stuff. So literally right now, Heaven is a Disco.
I like that.
Yeah.
I would pay money. Oh, let's go see Heaven is a Disco. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. And the music, I mean, his music was crazy good. All across the board, not just gay people, straight people, all age ranges. I went to see the Donna Summer musical on Broadway, and every song, we're going to use 3 of his songs actually, that came on. Oh, the audience went nuts.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy the influence that someone has, you know? And, well, hopefully that's what we do too. You know?
Awesome. Alrighty, thank you again, folks. If you want to see more of Mo as Babcia, tune in to Last Call, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it with all your friends. Don't forget, our Indiegogo campaign is 2 weeks away from ending, and we really want to get us out there so you guys can see what's next for Babcia.
Exactly. Like I've been posting, you know, those of you who come, a lot of people will come and see me in a play, right? And nowadays you'll spend up to like $75 to see me. So plus 2 drink minimum in some places.
Yeah,
so
right?
just give us freaking $25 to our Indiegogo. That will help. And then you'll see me whenever you want. Thank you so much.
I love you
too. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.